don't think I can make that with 3 ingredients. No. Let's try another one. Simon!
Hello.
What are you doing here?
Well, I was hoping you would give me a favour.
Of course, sure. What can I do for you?
See, I have this client.
A client, huh?
Yes, my client wanted me to procure something
And you couldn't find it?
But no, but I was just hoping you could help me then.
All right, so what is it that you couldn't find on your own?
Well, you see, my client likes cheese.
Okay, yep, we have plenty of cheese. I'm surprised you didn't find any in the kitchen.
Well, he wanted a particular type of cheese, you see.
Okay, all right. So how can I help you get your particular type of cheese?
Well, you know that type of cheese that goes in the lasagna?
Oh, yeah, ricotta cheese.
Yes, the ricotta cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you see, I haven't been able to find that. I mean, I was wondering if you would be able to get me some for my client, you see.
Well, we don't have any in the kitchen, but I think I have the ingredients to make some. Do you want to help me make some ricotta cheese?
Is this another one of your videos then?
It is. Ricotta cheese is easy to make. It tastes much better fresh, and it's only 3 ingredients.
Well, how do you like that?
Mm.
So, how do you make this ricotta cheese then?
Well, the first ingredient in any sort of cheese is milk.
Milk?
Yep. We are going...
even if it's cream cheese?
Yep, you start with milk.
Well, I thought it was cream.
Yep.
It's just what you know.
You make sure that you have whole milk because skim milk is not going to work for this. You really want the fat. It's the fat in
I thought it was
cheese.
the Swiss cheese that has the hole in it, not the ricotta.
Aren't you funny?
Oh, well, I don't understand.
We are going to use 8 cups, which is a ½ gallon of whole milk.
Oh.
Our second ingredient is salt.
Oh.
Yep.
No pepper then?
You can actually add any sort of herbs or spices you want. Salt is the thing that brings out the flavor in the cheese, but you can also add pepper. You can use hot pepper, any sort of herbs that you would normally put in some sort of cheese spread that you want. You can add that to the ricotta as you're making it, and it would taste very much like that. But for this, we're just going to use salt.
Oh, I think my client would like the run-of-the-mill salt.
Okay, so we are going to use 1/2 teaspoon of just regular table salt.
A lemon?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I would never have expected there to be a lemon.
Yeah, we are just going to use the juice of a lemon. In fact, we're going to use 6 tablespoons of lemon juice. You could also...
Is that a lot?
No, it's not too much, especially for a ½ gallon of milk. But you could also use the same amount of white vinegar.
Vinegar?
Yep, what we're going to do is curdle the milk. Have you heard of curds and whey?
Yes, the Miss Muffet in a tuffet in that icky spider.
Exactly. We are going to separate the curds, which is where the cheese comes from the whey, which is the liquid that makes up milk when you put it together.
Well, you know what they say then.
No, what do they say?
Well, where there's a way, there's a wheel.
Let's get to the recipe. To start off with, I'm going to insert a candy thermometer directly into my pot. Now, this is something that you can pick up just for a couple of dollars at any place where you can get baking supplies or cooking supplies. It just tells you what temperature whatever you're cooking is. It comes in really handy for making all sorts of candies, for caramel, for fudge, and also it turns out for cheese. So we are going to put this on the side of our pot so that we can tell when the cheese or when the milk gets up to 185 degrees Fahrenheit. Now make sure that this doesn't touch the bottom of your pot because then it would just be telling you the temperature of the metal on the pot, and that's not an accurate reading of the temperature of what you are cooking. I've set my pot to a medium-high heat, and now I'm just going to add my milk. Now make sure that the thermometer is submerged within your milk, otherwise it's not going to give you a temperature reading at all, and we don't want that. I'm going to add my ½ teaspoon of salt directly into the milk. Now we're pretty much done with the cooking part other than stirring this while it comes up to temperature. This is not going to take too long, about 5 to 10 minutes. It depends on how high a heat you've got it on. I would be conservative with the heat. Don't use it at too high of a temperature because you can scald your milk. It's also good to have a thick bottomed pot to cook this in so that the milk doesn't catch on the bottom, and you will want to stir it quite often just to make sure that the milk doesn't catch anywhere else. Okay, we are just about at the 185 degrees mark. It's kind of hard sometimes to tell on this thermometer because it only goes every 50 degrees Fahrenheit, but I have used it a few times, so I know that. So now it is time to add our lemon juice. Now you're going to reduce the temperature right away to low, and then add in your lemon juice and start stirring. Now you really don't need this to be on any sort of high heat at all. In fact, some recipes I've seen have said that you can just take it directly off the heat. I think to have it still being heated a little bit is fine, and in fact I think it speeds up the process a little bit, but as you can see already, we're getting curds. And that's exactly what we're looking to do. We are looking to separate the curds from the whey, and the curds are what make our cheese, and the whey is the liquid that is left over afterwards. Now I'm going to just stir this for another couple of minutes, and then what I will do is I will turn off the heat completely, take this off the heat completely, and then I'm going to cover it and let it sit for 20 minutes before I do anything else. Now our mixture has been cooling for 20 minutes, so I am going to now pull the cheese curds directly out, and I'm going to put them into this contraption. What this is just a strainer, and I have lined this. I thought I had some cheesecloth in the house. I don't. Looked up what I can use instead, and the internet has told me that coffee filters will work just as well, and it makes sense. So I've got 2 layers of coffee filters in my strainer, and that's over a pan. You can use a bowl or a pan. That is to catch the rest of the whey and also give this something to drain into. So what I'm going to do is just use a slotted spoon, and I will let this drip out just a little bit. And then I'm just spooning this directly into my lined strainer. I've now captured all of the curds that are in my whey mixture here, so you can either discard this or you can use this. You can look up some recipes that you can make with whey, including other cheese. This is going to drain for anywhere from a half an hour to a couple of hours in the fridge. You don't want to press it down. You don't want to mix it around too much. You just want it to drain using its own weight. The reason you don't want to press it down is 1, you don't want it to dry out too much, and 2, you can actually push the curds directly through. So we're just going to put this into the fridge and let it sit and drain for a little bit, and then we'll check out the results. All right, so this has been draining for a little while, and as you can see, there's a lot of liquid that has come out of that. We have a nice crumbly texture, which is what we were looking for from this batch of ricotta. You can certainly get it to be more creamy in texture if you wanted that by just not letting it drain quite so long. We are probably going to use this for the filling for some pasta, but you could just serve this directly on top of some toast or on top of some crackers with some honey drizzled on top. That would be delicious. This has a really fresh flavor, and I hope that Simon really likes it. Let's see what he thinks. So what do you think? Is this going to satisfy your client?
I think so.
Oh, great.
Might as well ask him then.
Your client is here?
All the time, yeah.
Well, where did... Oh.
Cheese! Cheese! Cheese!
Oh my goodness!
So you're a client.
Oh, your client was cheese this whole time.
Uh-huh.
Oh, well, hold on a second.
Cheese!
Cheese, what do you think of this?
Cheese!
Oh, perfect. So Simon is satisfied. His client Cheese is satisfied.
Told you I had a client.
And certainly you'll be satisfied for this ricotta. It's so delicious. You'll never go back to eating just the store-bought ricotta again. It tastes just like fresh milk. It goes perfectly well in any recipe that you would normally use ricotta. And it's perfectly great for
Cheese.
For cheese.
He said cheese.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've got this all packaged up for you guys.
Cheese.
Oh, I'm glad you approve.
Yeah, he likes it very much then.
Ah, so don't I. So,
He said cheese.
He always
Which means
says,
he likes it.
Well, it means just about everything, doesn't it?
Cheese.
Mm-hmm.
See?
Yep. So, maybe you can help me before you guys take off with this.
And how would I be able to do that?
Can you remind the people who are watching how they can help us out with this show?
Well, first you could subscribe and...
Subscribing is great. It alerts you when we have a new show, and you could also see the other shows on this channel, like...
Cheese.
Exactly. On Tuesdays, I do long hair videos, and...
Cheese.
On weekends, George, he's the CAT.
Don't let him hear that.
Nope, he's not around. He is here to talk about good self-esteem. So we hope to see you again, and thank you so much for joining us. You want to take this away?
Oh, sure.
Thanks very much. Bye-bye. Our second ingredient is salt.
Salt?
Yep.
Why salt?
Well, I really don't know. Actually, I have no idea why we're using salt. I think it's just for flavoring. I think it just adds flavor. It's optional.
Here's our blooper anyway.
Yep, okay.